Hey, good evening, everybody. How you all doing? This is your boy, Rod Thomas Jr., and this is the real news behind the news. Oh, yeah, today is still Monday, and it's finna rain like heck here in Shreveport, Louisiana. The date is March 30th, 2020. And I'm finna tell y'all something that ain't nobody really gonna understand unless you actually do research and understand how this corrupt capitalist government that is known as America actually works. Let me give y'all some real game. Do you realize the American people have just been a victim of the biggest orgy in in world history? Because we all got fucked, y'all, with this stimulus package. Now, I haven't been able to go live on Robert Thomas's page because I'm Rob T. Wink, 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 quote, you know what I'm saying? But I'm Rob T. But I'm speaking for Robert Thomas Jr. And I'm telling you all what's really going down. Let me ask y'all a question. Everybody is championing the fact that they're supposed to get $1,200 or more back. Some will get less in a stimulus package. Let me ask y'all a question. Who pays in the long run for that stimulus package? The American people through taxes. That $1,200 that you're getting, guess what's going to happen next year? If you owe back taxes, you owe child support or whatever, they taking that $1,200 from you. Why do you think they had an IRS fucking controlling everything? Because they finna get that money back from you. Now let me get deep into the meat of the subject and show you how we all just got fucked. Think about this. I got a dog. I'm pretty sure plenty of you all got a dog. You can starve that dog halfway to death and then throw him a bone every 7-8 days. That dog is going to love you because he wants that bone from you. He's going to look at you as master. This is what just happened in that stimulus package. Let me ask y'all a question. How many of you all right now, your rent, your car note, and your car insurance equals to $1,200 a month? I'm quite sure quite a bit of you all's finances does equal to that amount. Now, this is what happened. They telling us that they giving everybody in America $1,200, but that's just like throwing a dog a bone. We championing like, oh yeah, we finna get $1,200, but guess what? When you look at the numbers of this stimulus bill, the corporations are going to walk away with at least $7 trillion fucking dollars, y'all. The corporations are about to walk away with $7 to $8 trillion dollars, and they designated maybe $300 billion to give everybody. And guess what? Everybody ain't gonna get that $1,200 back. If you did not file taxes and you're not on Social Security or some kind of Social Security or SSI, you might not get nothing back. But in the long run, in the short run and in the long run, guess who's paying for this shit? The American taxpayers. Now let me go fast forward and come in this video. Try to tell them that they don't believe. Hey, you tell the truth. Marlon say if they hadn't put us in this position, exactly. And Marlon and Miss Katie said the same thing. Let me show y'all how the game goes and how we just got fucked in the biggest orgy in the history of mankind. Because you just had 300 million Americans to get fucked by the corporations. Because they designated, just say, $400 billion to give everybody a so-called stimulus check. You know why they did that? That's just like us giving that dog that motherfucking bone. We give a dog a bone, he's going to be happy. They giving you $1,200, but they just gave the corporations damn near $9 trillion, man. Do y'all understand this shit? And guess who pays for that? If the government is able to give you $1,200, who money is they really giving you? They fucking giving you your money back. And then they gonna tax you on the back end next year for the money that they gave you this year, just like they did in 2008. Now let me break it down. I'm gonna be real brief. Alright, the bill is worth pretty much $10 trillion. Of that $10 trillion, 300 to 400 billion was designated to give everybody a stimulus check. Another, I think, of 400 to 600 billion was designated for small businesses. But guess what, small businessmen? That money that they give you is conditional on that you keep your employees employed during this coronavirus scare. That means they'll give you up to a $10, $15, $20,000 loan. But conditions of that loan means that you got to keep your employees employed. Now let's fast forward. We're going to take the 600 billion that they giving in loans to small businessmen. The other, just say 400 billion to the average American citizen. But we got to ask the question, what about the homeless people who don't file fucking taxes for 2018, 2019? Do they get anything? They lied to us in the Jump Street and said that we have to, we basically have to do this to help the the American people. We're going to give every American notice. That shit went from 3 weeks ago to every American to tax-paying citizens. Notice the wording. They said a month ago that we got to start this stimulus bill. We got to start this stimulus bill to help the American people. Everybody was supposed to get a check. But now, guess what? Unless you in certain tax brackets, you're not finna get shit. Meaning that if you make over $100,000 a year, or maybe $150, almost $200,000 a year. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Hey. Oh, I had to check on the dog. Y'all, give me a second. Sorry about that. But let me go back. I'm trying to get back onto my train of thought. But this is what they did. The American people, the average Joe, you and I, who gets out here, some of us might not have jobs. Some of us might just go cut yards and shit, for a living. But they say that every American, a month ago, they said every American should get a check. Now it's those Americans who filed income taxes, who are on SSI or on disability. You Negroes and white boys and whoever else that's on child support, they gonna hit your check if you do get one. So not every American, when you come and look at the bill, now that it's passed, is finna get something. I guarantee you 2/3 of the American people are not gonna get a check. Straight up. Because you are looking at a system that's based upon your last 2 years' income tax. What about the homeless people? What about the people in prison? Aren't they Americans? Why aren't they getting a check? So they lied to you from Jump Street saying that we're going to give every American a check. Now it's those working Americans. That means you just eliminated damn near half the population of America from getting this check. But everybody in America has to pay through their paychecks vis-a-vis taxes for this stimulus bill. Guess who's finna walk away with like a fat rat? Boeing, Horseshoe, Harris, motherfucking Delta, Chase Bank in Manhattan. Do you realize that between the small business loans and the petty ass checks that they're giving to American citizens, which equals to $1 trillion, probably, if possibly, guess who's finna get the most of that motherfucking money? You got $9 trillion going to the corporations. Now, you as a small businessman, when you apply for that small business loan, quote unquote, that they say they're finna give you, guess what? It's under conditions. You have to keep all your employees employed, or you're gonna have to pay that loan back. And they got a stipulation now. Keep in mind, they do have a stipulation that if you keep your employees paid during this so-called disaster, they're going to eventually dismiss this loan. Y'all excuse me, I gotta erase that. They're going to eventually dismiss it, and you won't have to pay it back. But guess what? The corporations are getting $9 trillion, and they don't have to pay nobody shit. Well, I take that back. under the agreement in this stimulus package, the major corporations do have to pay for 4 months of their employees' salaries, up to certain percentages, up to 100%. Which is, I understand that if we giving y'all some money, we got to at least make sure that y'all are paying the employees that you all had to lay off. But guess what? Who the fuck is paying them? Their employees through taxes. Why do you think this shit is running through the IRS? If your government really wanted to help everybody, they would include the homeless. They would include the convicted felons who are locked up and or who maybe out here can't even find a job. They would include the mentally ill homeless who are running in and out of the jail system because they can't get proper medication. You know what I'm saying? All this shit took place before the virus. So guess who got to pay for this money? I mean, all this money that they talking about, 10 trillion, that means you, your kids, your kids' kids, your kids' kids' kids, your kids' 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 kids are paying for that shit through the form of taxes. And the corporate owners of all the major airlines, the casino industry, the hotel industry, the pharmaceutical industry, all these people finna make away like finna get away like a fat rat with a whole house full of cheese. Cause let me show you how the game goes, y'all. Part of that money, do y'all understand what the Federal Reserve is? The Federal Reserve gets $4.5 billion with a guaranteed leverage of your tax dollars backing them up at 10%, which means that they can now take that $400 billion and leverage it in loans up to $4 trillion. And guess who got to back them loans back up? The taxpayers. So this is what we're going to do, man. We just going to bring y'all the truth. Whether we, I would just keep the shit real. Fuck Facebook and all that shit. This is Robert Thomas Jr. I got to do a fake Facebook page because they blocked my other shit for telling y'all shit like this. That whole stimulus bill, think about this. Democrats and Republicans voted for that shit, and Trump just signed it. You know why? Out of all the other shit that they could not come up on agreement upon, they used this virus to come up on an agreement that benefits their donors. Your government is fucking corrupt, and they just raped us as American people. And as long as people are getting that $1,200, they happy, but not understanding for the next 2,000 years, your kids gonna be paying for that shit. Because they get, again, they're not giving every American, like they said in the beginning, motherfucking money. They're not giving every American money. Only if you filed income taxes in the last 2 years are you getting anything. So what they done was they crafted this bill under the fear of this virus and allowed you all to make a decision. Do you all want to follow us and be happy for $1,200? Or do you want to ask questions? Well, what the fuck? Why are the homeless people not getting no money? This is what we talk about, you know what I'm saying? Here on the Real News Behind News. We can't do it on our other page, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to keep it real for y'all. Always ask questions. You all that's sitting around, even you essential workers, you all should be the ones who are madder than anybody else. Because you all who are deemed as essential workers, guess what? You all out there at work all day right now. And you all are the ones who are bearing the brunt of this motherfucking, this scam. Because that's all it is. It's a scam. Just like here in Freeport when they try to run that scam with the apartments on the Cooper Road. This is what you got on a major level with your corporations and controlling your politicians. Your politicians just sold you out. Ask Joe Biden, do he think it's a good idea to give the corporations 9.5 trillion or 9 trillion and only give small business and the American average American person, 1 trillion, and they got to fight for that shit amongst themselves, while the corporations walk away. Now let me show you what the corporations gonna do, and I'm gonna end this video. The corporations, they might say fuck it. Since they gave us 500 billion, they gave us 40, 50 billion. We can afford to lay these people off for the next 4 months. and give them half or even their whole salary. Because we still, as CEOs, gonna get paid. So fuck the employees. The major corporations are literally going to take this money, buy back their stocks that have declined on the stock market. They're going to invest in other shit, especially the home lending industry and all that shit. I'm finna tell you another thing. A lot of y'all finna lose y'all homes in the next 3 months. I mean, yeah, really the next 3 months under this bill. And y'all want to really see what that's about, check us out on YouTube. We talking about that on YouTube right now. But your corporations are finna walk away with $9 trillion while they gave us a bone. $1,200 fucking dollars. $1,200 is what the working American person is gonna get. But again, what about the homeless? What about those people, like I say, those brothers and sisters who just got out of prison and been out here for the last 2 years, can't even find a job because they maybe got 2 or 3 felonies. But they get out here and they live productive lives. They don't get nothing just because they didn't file a tax return. And then you got to ask again, why is all this shit based upon your tax return? Nigga, because next year, they going to get that shit off you on your tax return. We just got fucked, y'all. And I'm sorry I haven't been able to go live and harden the paint on my regular page, The Real News Behind the News. But this shit is real, man. They're not telling you that you all got to pay for this. I got to pay for this. You got to pay for this. Guess what? The next generation of children in America is going to have to pay for this. Because where they going to get that fucking $10 trillion? $9 trillion of which they're giving to major corporations who were irresponsible even after the 2008 fiasco, a financial fiasco where they had to bail all the banks out at almost $1 trillion then. 2008, less than 12 years ago, they gave all your banks damn near $1 trillion then. And these businesses and these corporations, major corporations, Boeing, Harris, United, motherfucking Chase Manhattan, Philip Northern, Exxon, all these motherfucking major corporations, guess what? They got bailed out in 2008, and they still didn't learn their lesson because the corporate heads were so greedy. They took that bailout money and gave CEOs tens of million dollars bonuses. And guess what? You're seeing that shit right now here in this latest bailout. But what makes this so different is, guess what? They're putting stipulations on us, telling us that we can only expect so much, but we got to give our bosses, our employees, way much more than what we are getting. They gave you $1,200. Guess what? That shit is not compared to what they gave Boeing, Delta. What they gave Boeing, Delta, Philip Northern, all these major corporations just here in America is not even 1/10. But hey, y'all give me a second, man. I gotta go deal with something because when I'm doing a live video, I don't like to be interrupted. But I'm being interrupted right now. I don't know if it's the dog, family, or company or whatever. But I don't like to be interrupted, so I'm gonna end this video. Y'all give me a minute. I'll be right back.